Welcome, guests. Please turn your attention to the screens as we begin our program with a message from Stacy Stewart, President and CEO of March of Dimes.
Welcome, and thank you for coming together in support of moms and babies when they need us the most. How we connect at our events may look different during COVID-19 pandemic, but our shared commitment to giving all families the best possible start is as strong as ever. As you know, the United States is among the most dangerous developed nations in the world in which to give birth. And that's under the best of circumstances. Thanks to your support, we're able to continue fighting the serious maternal and infant health issues that affect our communities. We can be there for every family, those who've had their firsthand hardships, those celebrating their health, and those just trying to start their families. So get ready to have some great experiences at our now virtual events and see how our mission works to improve the health of moms, babies, and their families in your community and everywhere. Thank you and enjoy.
I'd like to echo Stacy's sentiment and welcome everyone. My name is Heather and I am so honored to be here with you today in this virtual forum. You know, the way we've come together has changed, but our dedication to raising funds for the March of Dimes, for the moms, for the babies remains the same. And today we are going to celebrate and we are going to honor some amazing nurses from all across Washington State. Here in the United States, we are facing an urgent crisis for both moms and babies that has intensified due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Every 12 hours, a woman dies from the complications of pregnancy, and 2 babies die every day. And those numbers are disproportionately higher for women and babies of color. That's why March of Dimes is working inside communities all across the country to reduce the rising rates of preterm birth, as well as maternal and infant mortality and morbidity. They support families before, during pregnancy, and after to ensure that all moms and all babies get the best possible start. We are here today to make an impact for all the families, and to do that, we need you. We are here to make an impact for all the families, and to do that, we need your participation throughout the entire program. I invite you to join the conversation, check in, share your connection to March of Dimes. Tell us your story. If you are here to support a specific nominee, give them a shout out right here today. Now, I'm gonna thank you a lot throughout this entire event, and I wanna give a big virtual hug to our presenting sponsor, Kaiser Permanente. Without your support, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you for being a huge part of this event. We love you. And it's because of people like you that March of Dimes can empower families to get the right support when they need it the most. A healthy birth for every baby is a goal worth fighting for. We can't do it without you. Now I'd like to introduce you to the chair of this event, June Alteris. June, without your leadership and your guidance and that stellar committee, we wouldn't be here today. So I want to thank you so much for everything you've done, and turn it over to you now.
Thank you. This evening is about supporting March of Dimes and healthy moms and strong babies, while recognizing our nursing community for their work, dedication, and achievements. But it's hard not to notice the difference in our event as we gather virtually this year. Personally, I'm grateful that a wonderful organization like March of Dimes is fighting to improve the health of families, just as they've done for more than 80 years. The stark reality is that the US is among the most dangerous developed nations for childbirth. And that's during the best of times. In the midst of the unprecedented global pandemic, with far-reaching effects on both public health systems and the economy, March of Dimes is focused on the health of families who we know may be at even greater risk. This year has been unlike any other we've seen, but your continued support has not gone unnoticed. Families need us, always, and the March of Dimes community has stepped up to be there for them throughout this crisis. I'd like to recognize my committee for dedicating their time, talent, and treasure to support this event. Let's give them a virtual round of applause. I'd also like to acknowledge the amazing support of our sponsors. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Kaiser Permanente, Washington. Their commitment to the March of Dimes mission is greatly appreciated. We'd like to share a short message from Kaiser Permanente, Washington.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Graves, the Vice President of Quality and Safety and Regional Chief Nursing Executive at Kaiser Permanente, Washington. Thank you so much for joining our celebration of nurses from all across Washington State. While I know this isn't how we would like to be gathering, I'm so thankful that we have this opportunity to join together to celebrate and honor nurses during this most historic year of the nurse and midwife. Kaiser Permanente, in its 75th year of operation, is pleased to be the 2020 Nurse of the Year presenting sponsor. We have had over 380 nominations submitted this year, and I can't thank you all enough for everyone's contributions. Kaiser Permanente is honored to sponsor the March of Dimes, and we are so proud of the work that they do. March of Dimes is leading the fight for the health of moms and babies, and there has never been a more important time to be involved in this fight. In our own state, Washington State, 1 in 12 babies are born too soon. Women of color are at a significantly higher risk of preterm birth, and every day 2 women die from childbirth complications. These are things that don't have to be true, and thanks to the work of the March of Dimes, we are working together to change it. The March of Dimes has a rich history as a pioneer in eradicating polio and now creating a world where prematurity can become part of our past. And Kaiser Permanente is a pioneer in creating an integrated model that combines care and coverage in one organization. We are proud to join together to create strong families and communities for a bright future together. And thank you for your participation tonight.
Thank you again, Kaiser Permanente, for your continued support of March of Dimes. I'd also like to thank our additional sponsors who helped make this evening a success. Our category sponsors, CHI Franciscan, Alan Consulting, Key Bank, Multicare Health Systems, Children's Hospital, Swedish Health Services, Overlake Medical Center and Clinics, and WGU Washington, as well as our bronze sponsors, Washington State Hospital Association, Washington State Nurses Association, Simplify, Providence Regional Medical Center Everett, Cigna, Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, Evergreen Health. Without these amazing partners, we would not be able to make a difference for moms and babies. Thank you for your ongoing support in such an unprecedented year. I want to congratulate every nurse tuning in for the vital and important roles you play in the overall health of our communities, especially in times like this. I am also proud of you and what you do to represent the profession of nursing. As Jen mentioned, 2020 was named the Year of the Nurse and Midwife. And while a virtual celebration may not be our ideal way to celebrate you, we do want to show how proud we are with how nurses have shown up and demonstrated to the world on a broad scale why you are the most trusted profession. You may have heard that healthcare today is a marathon, not a race. We are in this for the long haul. And I want to thank you for being nurses who thrive and take pride in your profession. Never doubt the impact you have on your patients. The things you do innately every day are what your colleagues depend on when they need strength. Your patients are comforted by you when they need it the most. You are irreplaceable to all of us, and especially those you care for every day. Nurses, we unite to face our role in this pandemic. We strive to act with dignity and to honor each other, as well as our patients and our community and ourselves. And I ask you to care for your own heart and know that you are not alone. Whether you are new to the profession or at the end of your career, You have chosen wisely, and I am so proud to be a nurse among Washington's finest. Be proud, celebrate today, and I will look for your internal and external celebrations. What is most important is the knowledge of a job well done and the love from a community full of people who appreciate and support you in one of the hardest years in medicine. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, June. Nurses really are the heart and the soul of our healthcare industry. And as the child of a nurse who recently retired after more than 40 years as a healthcare hero, this is very close to my heart. If you've got a nurse in the family, if you've got a nurse that took great care of you when you needed it the most, I invite you to make a special gift in their name. Text NOTYWA to 91999. Tell us the name of the person that you want to recognize and the gift amount that you are pledging. We're going to send you back a link. You can complete that donation, but the first step right now is to text NOTYWA to 91999. Thank you so much. And as these gifts are rolling in, thank you so much. I want to remind you that all of these dollars stay right here in Washington State. They are fighting for access to quality healthcare, health equity, and support for families and babies in the times they need it the most. That's what March of Dimes does. So I want to say thank you again as we get to the moments you've all been waiting for. Category number 1, advanced practice nursing. Now, in the category of advanced practice nursing, the nominees are nurse practitioners, clinical nurse specialists, nursing midwives, nursing anesthetists, and it's my pleasure to introduce Deborah Ridling, the Associate Chief Nurse, the Practice and Research Director for the Center of Pediatric Nursing Research at Seattle Children's Hospital, to present this award. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to present the award for Advanced Practice Nursing. This nominee is exceptional. She always makes time to update families on the plan of care for their infants. She has been staying after a 24-hour shift to support staff or families after a difficult day. She helps to develop best practices for care with our neonatologists and nursing staff. Her dedication to our infants and their families is admired by all. Please join me in congratulating Allison Coit from Swedish Medical Center. Congratulations, Allison.
Thank you, Deborah, and congratulations, Allison. Our next category is behavioral health. This award is for those who work with mental health and addictive services. And I'm so excited to introduce Ruth Flint, the Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President at St. Joseph's Medical Center, part of CHI Franciscan, to present this award. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to be presenting the award for behavioral health. This nominee advocates for his patients and families and collaborates with his team to ensure patients get the care they need. There are so many wonderful examples of this nominee spending additional time with families during admissions to make them feel more comfortable on the unit. He builds trust with patients and with their families. He continues this family-centered care throughout their admission. This trust allows him to help de-escalate patients in a crisis. I am pleased to give this award to Chad Mark Ward from Seattle Children's Hospital.
Thank you, Ruth, and congratulations, Chad. Our next category will be for emergencies, so that means emergency room, flight services, ambulance services, and I would like to welcome back June Alteris to present this award.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to present the Emergency Award. Their nominators said this about them. The COVID pandemic caused much uncertainty, doubt, and fear for our staff and patients. But for this candidate, it made her mentorship and coaching shine as a light during this dark time. As soon as she came on as charge on the night shifts, we knew we could take a deep breath and know that she had this under control. She had things changing constantly on her shifts, but kept the team apprised and rose to the occasion as best she could. I am sure on the inside, this leader must have been scared and worried for her staff, self, and family. But she stayed calm and competent during times of uncertainty. She instilled hope and trust in her patients and staff through her actions on the front line. I wholeheartedly believe that she is a shining example of compassion, respect, collaboration, excellence, and accountability. Please join me in recognizing Courtney Pittnam from Evergreen Health.
Thank you, June, and congratulations, Courtney. A little bit of extra love for your poise and your grace during some of these difficult and uncertain times that you've been at the hospital. We all appreciate you so much. Going down the list to traveling nurse now. These are nurses in contracts that have a direct impact, that jump into the teams, that contribute on a day-to-day basis, and they embed themselves into the nursing culture and the community, and we thank you so much for that. I'd like to introduce Margot Baikonen. She's the Regional Chief Nursing Officer at Swedish Health Services. Hey, welcome, Margot.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to present the award for Travel Nurse of the Year. This nominee is a friendly, easygoing person. She is dependable, flexible, and always ready to lend a helping hand. She is an excellent pediatric critical care nurse who maintains a high standard of performance and integrity. Her compassionate, caring nature establishes therapeutic relationships with pediatric patients and their families. During this unprecedented COVID crisis, she has also demonstrated a willingness to help adult patients with above and beyond what's required. She is one of our best travelers, and we would love to have her as our permanent staff. Please join me in congratulating Amal Ali, who is currently working at Swedish Medical Center, First Hill. Congratulations, Amal.
Thank you, Margot, and congratulations, Amal. Now we've come to the category of pediatric nursing. Now this had a lot of nominations, and rightfully so. It's the cornerstone, the mission of March of Dimes, and it's sponsored by Seattle Children's Hospital. Now I'm extra pleased to announce that there was a tie. I love giving away awards, and we're gonna bring Deborah on to announce who won.
Well, welcome back, and I am delighted that we have 2 pediatric awards this year. From the voting, we had a tie, so we decided to award 2 this year. The first goes to a nurse described as a role model. As a transfer from an adult hospital, she has an intentional and infectious joy. Like other specialties, pediatric nurses are a special group. It's not somewhere you happen to work, you choose to be a pediatric nurse. She's kind, smart, funny, compassionate, driven, hardworking, humble, and resilient. She's a cheerleader for best practice, an unofficial mentor to her peers, and a ray of sunshine on really rough days. Please join me in congratulating Jamie Addington from Mary Bridge Children's. Congratulations, Jamie. And our second winner is constantly advocating for best practice initiatives to help better serve women and children in the Seattle community. One of the best practice initiatives this nominee has worked on is the implementation of the Eat, Sleep, Console model for caring for couplets who are going through opioid withdrawal in the postpartum period. She has spearheaded the work and the multidisciplinary team, including researching the literature and community standards, writing the policy for care, and drafting educational materials for all staff caring for these couplets. The advocacy of the care model supports the parent is the best medicine for the baby. She's worked with many stakeholders to ensure processes are in place to keep the baby with their parent, which can have lasting and impactful outcomes for the health and well-being. Please join me in congratulating Kristen Jensen from Swedish Medical Center. Congratulations, Kristen.
Thank you, Deborah, and congratulations, Jamie and Kristen. Our next category is nursing technology and analytics. So that means all settings, all levels, if you demonstrate leadership in implementation, adoption, optimization, all the technologies of the data and the data interpretation. Ruth is going to be presenting this award.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to present the Nursing Technology and Analytics Award to someone who stepped into a position that supports the perioperative department. He has been supportive and influential in systemizing our evaluation process for SSIs, hand hygiene, and high-level disinfection, among other things. He truly exemplifies best practice and is willing to provide support and growth to the units he oversees effortlessly. Please join me in congratulating Brian Norris from Swedish Medical Center, First Hill Campus. Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you, Ruth, and congratulations, Brian. Our next category is ambulatory care nursing. So that's the acute care, that's the chronic illnesses and the injuries. And this award is presented by June Alteris.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to give the Ambulatory Care Award. This nominee is often the first RN the patient speaks to when they are scheduled with an oncology breast surgeon. Her kind and gentle voice, as well as knowledge and experience, gives her the ability to calm and reassure patients as they embark on their cancer journey. She is very thorough and very dogged as she works to make sure the patients have all the information, appointments, imaging, genetics, referrals to other specialties such as medical oncology, radiation oncology, plastics, physical therapy, physiatry, psychiatry, social work, and many other things that each patient requires. It is a daunting journey that this nominee helps each of her patients navigate safely. She has spent countless hours outside of work earning her certified breast care nurse, a certification that less than 1,000 RNs have worldwide, and is working towards earning her oncology nursing certification, all in the pursuit of keeping up her knowledge to better provide for the best patient care. We can all see that this nominee's patients really appreciate the dedication that she gives to them and to make the diagnosis of breast cancer less scary for each of them. Please join me in recognizing Sandy Kim from Swedish Cancer Institute, First Hill Campus.
Thank you, Jude, and congratulations, Sandy. This next award is for advocacy for patients, those nurses that go above and beyond to advocate for their patients. It's presented by our friends at Swedish Health Services. We're going to welcome back Margot Baikonen to present this award.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Advocacy for Patients Award to a nominee who puts her patients' needs and priorities at the top of everything. She defends her patients in every situation against medical staff, doctors, and families, and does so appropriately and professionally. Every patient deserves her as a nurse. The patients she takes care of are in the hardest times of their lives as she works a level 2 neurocardiac trauma surgical ICU. Please join me in recognizing Jessica Williams from Providence Regional Medical Center, Everett. Congratulations, Jessica.
Thank you, Margot, and congratulations, Jessica. Our next category is continuum of care. These are nurses that specialize in non-hospital settings. So hospice care, assisted living, home health, public health. And this award is presented by Deborah Ridling.
And it's my pleasure to award the Continuum of Care Award to a nominee who is responsible for calling patients after discharge from the emergency department to support the discharge plan. This nominee is a professional engaging in the work through a very thorough manner while being very productive. She's engaged, readily sharing what she knows, and always being among the first to not only identify opportunities, but committing to be part of realizing them. She sees the big picture, understanding the plan and what it will take to execute. She's candid, relentlessly pursuing what is right for her patients. Please join me in recognizing Nancy, also known as Nanny Rawlings from Swedish Medical Group. Congratulations, Nanny.
It's now my pleasure to announce Karen Kelly, her son-in-law, Brandon, and her grandson, Oliver.
Oliver's my first well, my only grandchild. So I was excited to be a grandma. My daughter was puffy. And then she showed up a little bit later at my house and said, I called my OB. They want me to go in and get checked at the hospital. When we got there, it was like walking into a tornado. There was so many people surrounding her, and it was clear at that moment that this was an emergency. The doctor came in and said that she would be delivering her baby that day. And at that point, I just melted. She was 25 and 6/7 week pregnancy, and I was honestly devastated. It never even occurred to me after 30 years of being a NICU nurse that would be our family's experience. And of course, I didn't want that for her. I didn't want that for my grandson. He came out weighing 750 grams, which is 1 pound, 14 ounces, and he was 12 inches long. Being a NICU nurse, I think I had a lot of anxiety because I knew every possible complication that could happen. You're not the one that's in control of his outcome, that people who days before were complete strangers, you're now dependent on them to do their job exceedingly well so that Oliver gets to have the best outcome he can have. Biggest difference is that his care is built on research and all of the discoveries that are made about what constitutes the best care. He did get a dose of surfactant, and of course surfactant is probably the biggest game changer for premature babies. Interestingly, it was developed with a grant from the March of Dimes.
He's been doing really well. During the day, normally we would go to parks and do a lot of playing activity stuff. He loves puzzles. At school, he was known as the puzzle master in his preschool class, so I've got him a bunch of puzzles. Sometimes when I'm working, he'll go and pull out a puzzle and then work on it, and I turn around and it's all done, or he'll jump on my lap and tell me he needs help.
Our life with him is a happy one, and he is the happiest child. And he's that way because every time they cared for him, they did the right things for him. It's an impact I think many people don't have in their career, this incredible ability to both touch lives but change lives, and nurses change lives for the better. March of Dimes to me really means better lives for moms and babies. So they really focus on the health care of moms and babies. As I mentioned previously, the work around surfactant, which as a NICU nurse of 30 years, I have seen the way it has changed the lives of children for the better. Every little piece of his care that is based on research that people have done to show it helps better outcomes, I think that's really where the big difference lies.
Thank you, Karen and family, so much for sharing your story. As Karen mentioned, research is key to the safety of moms and babies. The United States is one of the most dangerous developed countries in which to give birth, even more so for women of color. By continuing the life-saving research and working to increase access to healthcare, we can make big strides in the health of moms and babies. Now is the time when you can help make a difference. Please take a moment to make a donation to March of Dimes if you haven't already. You can make a gift in tribute of a nurse nominated tonight, or make a gift that is significant for you. Every donation makes a difference. We wouldn't be able to do this work without you. To make a donation, text NOTYWA to 91999 with the information on your screen. It should appear as NOTYWA, your donation amount, and the name of who you've given the gift in tribute to. Once you've sent your text, you'll get a response with a link which helps you complete your donation. Thank you to all our nominees who created fundraising pages and helped to raise vital funds before tonight. Please join me in celebrating their efforts as well.
Wow. That story was incredible, and I am so happy to see that Oliver is doing well. Hey, as these donations are rolling in, should we get back to our next award? It's for education, presented by WGU Washington. This is for nurses that have made contributions to education, professional development, and long-term training and learning for nursing professionals. This award is going to be presented by Ruth.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to present the Education Award to someone whose passion for his profession is contagious. When he walks onto the unit, staff seek him out to confer with him about patients and their cases and how we are performing our care. When there are devices or procedures that are high risk but low volume on the unit, staff flock to these rooms to listen to his educational moments or best practice. And he teaches these tidbits and lessons using memorable mnemonics and visuals that worm their way into your memory to pull out at a later date. The plaques that state, "I teach what's your superpower," were created for people like this nominee. Please join me in congratulating Terry Lynch from Valley Medical Center. Congratulations, Terry.
Thank you, Ruth, and congratulations, Terry. Hey, our next category is for women's health, lactation. It's sponsored by Elon Consulting. So that's the antepartum clinics, the antepartum hospital units, labor and delivery, maternal and baby care, the postpartum and gynecology. We're going to bring back June Alteris to present this award.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Women's Health Award to someone who is one of the best charge nurses on their unit. She is always willing to stay late to ensure that the patients are taken care of and have the staff to do this without putting patient safety on the line. She has been seen taking care of moms that are grieving from a loss and taking care of moms that were on the brink of death. But the team came together and pulled them through. She is, in my opinion, one of the best nurses I will ever meet. She is so deserving of this award and so much more. It's an extra privilege for me to award this because I had the privilege of working with this nurse for many years. Please join me in congratulating Lily Pang from Swedish Medical Center. Congratulations, Lily.
Thank you, June, and congratulations, Lily. Hey, our next category is Rising Star. That means you're in the first 18 months of practice. You're demonstrating leadership and professionalism. And I'm so excited to welcome back past March of Dimes board member and former board president John Rowan, the Senior Vice President and Regional Retail Sales Leader of Washington from Key Bank.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Rising Star Award to someone who started as a CNA, became a telemetry monitor tech while she was in nursing school, and now works as a registered nurse on the floor after her RN residency. She's back in school for her BSN and aspires to be an ARNP. She is a hard worker and a team player. She has a good heart and is a strong advocate for her patients and will do whatever is necessary to get them what they need. She has grown so much in her role as nurse, and I know there's nothing stopping her. Congratulations to Barlin Mohammed from Swedish Medical Center First Hill Campus. Congratulations, Barlin.
Thank you, John, and congratulations, Barlin. Hey, our next category is research advancement. These are nominees who use, implement, supervise, conduct, design, or teach research to advance quality improvement, evidence-based practice, or clinical outcomes. This category recognizes nurses who use research to guide their practice and to develop policies. Margot Baikonen will be presenting this award. Welcome, Margot.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Research Advancement Award to someone who has been a nurse for nearly 48 years. In her current role, she has been instrumental in creating a nationally recognized nursing research program and serves as the key nursing scientist in the Center for Pediatric Nursing Research. She has focused her clinical, academic, and research career on caring for preterm and critically ill infants. Her research career has been significant and impactful to infants across the world. She has both contributed directly to improving the care of newborn infants, and in her current role, she empowers nurses to lead research, and more importantly, impact the care of newborn infants, children, and parents broadly across multiple settings. Congratulations to Karen Thomas from Seattle Children's Hospital. Thank you, Karen, for your work.
Thank you, Margot, and congratulations, Karen. Hey, our next category is nursing administration. These nominees include chief nursing executives, chief nursing officers, vice presidents, administrative directors, and department directors and managers. I'd like to welcome back Ruth Flint.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to present the Nursing Administration and Leadership Award to someone who has been an outstanding leader, supportive resource, and innovator in the past several years for their hospital and patient staff safety. Her team was able to mobilize a plan to support the safety of patients, families, and staff that have been effective and long-lasting. This past year, we were all impacted by the global pandemic. With so many unknowns about COVID-19, many nurses, providers, and patients have had an increase in anxiety and general angst. On multiple occasions, this nominee took the time to explain the most updated guidelines that have been released by the CDC so that staff was able to understand the guidelines and take that information back to their units. She is, without a doubt, an outstanding leader and has helped keep many patients, staff, and visitors safe during the pandemic. Please join me in recognizing Therese T. Mirasola from Seattle Children's Hospital. Congratulations, T.
Thank you, Ruth, and congratulations, T. Hey, our next category is for clinical care, sponsored by Overlake Medical Center. Now, these nominees demonstrate excellence in delivering care in a clinical setting directly to the patients. This award is going to be presented by Margot Bykonen. Welcome, Margot.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Clinical Care Award to a nominee that has high standards of integrity, ethics, professionalism, values, and stewardship. Time and time again, I have seen this nominee taking care of her patients as she would her own family members. She has been a strong advocate for her patients. She has cried with them. She has given much of her time and energy into making sure that they receive the best care possible. She has been chosen numerous times to be a preceptor on her floor. She is a shining example of what it means to be a team player. She is always the first to ask her coworkers if they need any help with their patients or if she senses a nurse needs to go and take a break. She is an amazing example of what it really means to be in this profession and how passion and dedication makes all the difference. Congratulations to Crystal Almazan from Tacoma General Hospital, part of Multicare Health System.
Thank you, Margot, and congratulations, Crystal. Hey, our next award is for Frontline Leader, and that's sponsored by Kaiser Permanente. Now, these nominees include a wide variety: general medical and surgical, specialty unit area of nursing. Those are going to function in the charge nurse, the A&M, the supervisor roles. It includes adult ICU, CCU, UMC, cath lab, and special procedures, PTCA, interventional radiology, ER, surgical, labor and delivery, NICU with intermediate care units, and PICU. I'm pleased to welcome back Jennifer Graves, VP of Quality, Safety, and Regional Chief Nurse Executive at Kaiser Permanente, Washington.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Frontline Leader Award to a kind nurse and a great charge nurse. Whenever she works as a charge nurse, she helps staff, especially new nurses, and makes sure that they are well supported in their transition. She's a team player, demonstrates tremendous commitment to her profession, and takes great pride in her work. Congratulations to Arvelin Sereno from Swedish Medical Center's Cherry Hill campus. Thank you, Arvelin.
Thank you, Jennifer, and congrats. Arvlin. Next up, we have Distinguished Nurse of the Year, presented by MultiCare Health Services. Now, these are nurses who have a profound impact, whose contributions and accomplishments have impacted so many right here in the state of Washington. I'd like to welcome back June Alteris.
Thank you, Heather. It is my pleasure to award the Distinguished Nurse of the Year Award to a gifted leader that has given so much of herself in the past to serve others and to advocate for nurses and patients. This year, with a nursing strike and being in an epicenter of a horrible pandemic, she had an opportunity to turn the volume up on her amazing talent to guide a system through chaos. She has gone above and beyond to create sustainable solutions that spans over pandemic supply management, infection control practices across disciplines, educational and staffing structures to support crisis staffing, and support of nursing school academic programs. She knows her team and system well and where the expertise lies. She knows how to delegate, motivate, and trusts others to do their best work so that she can help more people. There is nothing that she cannot do, and the spread of her accomplishments and guidance as a nursing leader during this pandemic is remarkable and makes her an unstoppable force. Her performance during the pandemic extends far beyond just a talented leader, but instead showed all around truly what a distinguished nurse that she is. I'm also really excited to present this award because I had the honor and privilege of working with Renee. Congratulations to Renee Rosillier Bomers from Swedish Medical Center. Thank you, Renee, for your outstanding leadership. Please join me in congratulating all of our winners.
I want to thank you one more time for joining us again on this brand new platform. Remind you one more time to pledge that gift in honor of the nurse who has touched your heart, maybe someone that you've seen today. You want to give a second donation, a second shout out. You're going to text NOTYWA to 91999. If you've already pledged, you still have that completion to follow through to fulfill that donation, and we appreciate you so much. Stay safe, stay well, and all my love goes to our healthcare heroes.
Thank you for joining us and for your continued support in our mission to fight for the health of all moms and all babies. As we find our nation in the midst of COVID-19, the importance of what we do is more critical than ever. With your help, we're advocating for policies to protect them, working to radically improve the healthcare they receive, pioneering research to find solutions, and empowering families with the knowledge and tools to have healthier pregnancies. And by going virtual with our programs and easily available online resources, including marchofdimes.org and itstartswithmom.org, we're meeting families wherever they are. The March of Dimes community is made up of thousands of incredible people just like you who are dedicated to do better for moms, dads, and babies everywhere. Together, we can build a world where every family is healthy and strong today and for generations to come.